Live from Rose Creek Studios. It's late night reading time with John. And now, here's your reader, John Mollington. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Welcome, everyone, to Late Night Reading Time of John. Anyway, hold your horses. Never mind. Well, this is chapter 2, guys. And
spotlight.
Better?
No?
Spotlight.
Look how spooky you look.
Anyway, no more messing around. I'm about to get colorblind. Chapter 2.
Do we get to meet Ralph this chapter?
The motorcycle. We got to meet the motorcycle. Except for one terrifying moment when the boy had poked his finger rooted out to a hungry young mouse named Ralph. Eagerly watched everything that went in room 215. So we meet Ralph here. At first, was disappointed at the size of the boy who was locked inside a room. Little child preferred probably 2 or even 3 children would have been better. Little messy children were always considerate about leaving crumbs on the carpet. Oh well, at least these people did not have a dog. There was one thing Ralph disliked. There was a Snoopy dog. Next, Ralph felt hopeful. Medium-sized boys could almost always be counted to leave a sticky candy bar wrapper on the floor or a bag of peanuts on the bedside table, where Ralph could reach them by climbing the telephone cord. For a boy this size, the food, though not out to be plentiful, wheat was almost sure to be of good quality. The third emotion felt by Ralph was joy when the boy laid the apple core by the telephone. This followed by despair when the mother dropped the core into the metal waste basket. Ralph knew that anything the bottom of the metal waste basket was lost to a mouse forever. The mouse lived not by crumbs alone, and so Ralph experienced still another emotion. This time, food was not the cause of it. Ralph was eager, excited, curious, and impatient all at once. The emotion was so strong, it made him forget his empty stomach. It was caused by those little cars, especially the motorcycle and the sound the boy made. That sound seemed to satisfy something within Ralph, as if he had been waiting all his life to hear it. Went the boy. To the mouse, the sound spoke of highways and speed, of distance and danger. The whisper was blown back by the wind. The instant the family left the room to go to dinner, Ralph scurried out of the mouse hole and across the threadbare carpet to the telephone cord, which came out of a hole in the floor beside the bedside table. Ralph, scolded his mother in the mouth, so you stay away from that telephone cord. Ralph's mother was a great worrier. She worried because their hotel was old and run down, and because so many rooms were often empty, with no careless guests to leave crumbs behind with mice. She worried about the rumor that their hotel was to be torn down when the new highway came through. She worried about her children finding a spear and tables. Ralph's father, a spear and tablet. Ralph's father had tried to carry the spear and tablet in his cheek pouch. The aspirant had this unexpected suddenness, and Ralph's father had been poisoned. Since then, no member of the family would think of touching an aspirant tablet, but this did not prevent Ralph's mother from worrying. Most of all, Ralph's mother worried about Ralph. She worried because he was a reckless mouse who stayed out later in the daytime, and he should have been home safe in bed. She worried when Ralph climbed the curtain to sit on the windowsill to watch the chipmunk in the pine tree outside and the cars in the parking lot below. She worried because Ralph wanted to go exploring down the hall, traveling under the floorboards like a sensible mouse. Heaven only knew what dangers he might meet in the hall. Maids, bellboys, perhaps even cats. Or what was worse, vacuum cleaners. Oh man. Ralph's mother had a horror of vacuum cleaners. Ralph, who was used to his mother's worries, got a good running start and was already halfway up the telephone cord. Remember your Uncle Victor! His mother called after him. Ralph seemed not to hear. He climbed the cord up to the telephone, jumped down, and ran around to the row of cars. There it is in the end. The motorcycle. Ralph stared at it and then walked over and kicked the tire. Close up, the motorcycle looked even better than he expected. It was new and shiny and it had a gold set of tires.
You found the motorcycle?
Gold. Good.
Good.
Ralph walked all the way around and examining the pair of chromium
Perfect.
mufflers.
Good word, chromium.
And the engine and the hand clutch. It even had a little license plate, so it would be legal to ride it.
He's gonna ride the motorcycle? That's crazy.
Boy, said Ralph to himself, his whiskers quivering with excitement.
Good word.
Boy, oh boy, feeling that this was an important moment in his life, took hold of the hand grips. They felt good and solid beneath his paws. Yes, this motorcycle was a good machine, all right. He could tell by the feel. Ralph threw a leg over on the motorcycle and sat jauntily on the seats. Plastic seat. He even bounced up and down. The seat was curved just right to fit a mouse. Yeah. But how to start the motorcycle, Ralph did not know. And even if he did not know how to start it, he could not do much riding up here on the bedside table. He considered pushing that motorcycle off into the floor but he did not want to risk damaging such a valuable machine. Ralph bounced up and down on the seat a couple more times and looked around for some way to start the motorcycle. He pulled at a lever or two, but nothing happened. Then a terrible thought spoiled his pleasure. This was only a toy. It would not run at all. That's sad. Ralph, who had watched many children in room 15, had picked up a lot of information about toys. He had seen a boy from Cedar Rapids throw his model airplane on the floor because he could not make its plastic parts fit properly. Oh man. Technical difficulties. Bless me. A little girl had burst into tears and ran sobbing to her mother, and her doll's arm had come out of its socket. And then there was that nice boy, the potato chipped nibbler, who stamped his foot because the batteries kept falling out of his car. But this toy could not be like all those other toys he had seen. It looked too perfect with its wire spokes and its wheels and its pair of shiny chromium exhaust pipes. It would not be right if it did not run. It would not be fair. The motorcycle would have looked as real as this one had to run. The secret of making it run must be perfectly simple. If only Ralph had someone to show him what it was. Ralph was not satisfied just sitting on the motorcycle. Ralph craved action. After all, what was a motorcycle for if it wasn't action? Who needed motorcycle riding lessons? Not Ralph. He tried pushing him on with his feet. It was not nearly fast enough, but it was better than nothing. He moved his feet faster along the tabletop and then lifted them up while he coasted. Feeling braver, he bent low over the handlebars and worked his feet still faster toward the edge of the bedside table. When he worked up a little speed, he would coast around the corner. He scrabbled his feet on the table top to gain momentum. In a split second, he would steer to the left. At that moment, the bell on the telephone rang half a ring, so close that it seemed to pierce the middle of Ralph's bones. It rang just at half ring, as if the girl at the switchboard realized she had rung in the wrong room and had jerked out the cord before the ring was finished. That half a ring was enough. It shattered Ralph's nerves and terrified him, so that he forgot all about steering. It jumbled his thoughts, so he forgot to drag his heels for brakes.
Oh no.
He was so terrified he let go of the hand grips. The momentum of the motorcycle carried him forward over the edge of the table.
Oh no!
Down through space tumbled Ralph with the motorcycle. He tried to straighten out, to turn the fall into a leap, but the motorcycle got in his way. He grabbed in vain at the air with both paws. There was nothing to clutch, nothing to save him, only the empty air. For a fleeting instant, he thought of his poor old Uncle Victor. That was the instant the motorcycle landed of a crash in the metal waste basket. Ralph fell in a heap beside the motorcycle and lay still, and that's chapter 2, folks.
Hey, what happened to Uncle Victor?
Uh,
Did he get stuck in a wastebasket?
no. His motorcycle crashed down.
Uncle Victor had a motorcycle?
I guess so.
No. Let me see.
But did you hear about Did you hear about Uncle Victor in the old version?
Yeah, Uncle Victor. Wasn't he the one that got stuck in the wastebasket?
Hey, John, can I start your bath?
Yeah. Alright, everyone, that concludes tonight's show. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
So Ralph actually rode the motorcycle?
Yeah, he did.
And then he crashed?
Yeah. I told you someone would. I told you. My dad told you someone would you and me, Ralph.